Welcome to another episode of the BNP Associates Community First podcast, where we have social and legal conversations on matters that really involve our community. On very special occasions, we celebrate leadership, we celebrate service, and we also celebrate people that are changing and shaping our nation. I am your host for today, Adelaide Beneferfe. Today is especially meaningful because we celebrate International Women's Day, a day set aside to honor women who are showing courage, who are showing determination, who are showing mentorship, and also creating pathways for others to follow. Our guest today embodies all of this and more: courage, integrity, resilience, and enduring leadership. We are deeply honored to have in our midst Reverend Dr. Joyce Rosalind Aryee. I know she needs no introduction, a distinguished public servant, a respected leader, a trailblazer whose life's work has transformed lives and strengthened institutions across our nation, Ghana. From her academic journey at the University of Ghana and the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, to serving in high-level ministerial roles and later leading the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Reverend Dr. Aryee has consistently led with excellence and integrity. Her service has been recognized nationally, including the highly coveted award, the Companion of the Order of the Volta, awarded by the former President of Ghana, John Agyekum Kufuor. But beyond the honors, what truly stands out is her deep commitment to ethical leadership, nation building, and of course, empowering women. Today, as Executive Director of Salt and Light Ministries, she continues to mentor, inspire, and lead with wisdom and grace. Her story is one of resilience, faith, and impact. And we are truly privileged to learn from her today. Reverend Dr. Aryee, thank you so much and welcome to our Community First podcast. It's a true honor to have you here.
I am so honored to be here. And I'd like to thank you for the very kind words you've said about me. I think I need to be around you more often.
All true, all true. So thank you. And I think the obvious start for me, beyond the leadership roles, beyond the political acclamations and what have you, I'm quite intrigued as to what environment you grew up in.
Very humble environment, but an environment also with deep values. That's what I'll say. I grew up in Kumasi, I should say, because we went to Kumasi when I think I was just under 5 years old. My mother worked with the then Kumasi Town Council, which became Kumasi City Council, and now it's called Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly.
Right.
That's where she used to work. She was a head telephonist, and interestingly, the only woman in a certain level of leadership. I didn't even know it till after she died, and we looked into her papers and saw some photographs and realized there were so many men in leadership, and there she was, stuck in the middle of all of them. Life was difficult, but my mother showed us that you should always brace yourself to meet life's challenges and overcome them. Our father died when we were quite young, and she had to bring us up by herself. She was very young herself. So she got involved in another relationship, but it wasn't what brought the kind of home with a father.
Yeah.
Or brought resources to take care
Indeed.
of us. So she had to bake, meat pie and do some, what do you call, a sweet bat? At that
Yes.
time, you
Yes.
know, and sell them at Kingsway, which was on the way to her work, and then leave some also at work for people to buy. And she also would take orders for cakes. We didn't like it because it meant we had to
Of course.
do all the work.
You all
At
had to
that,
jump in. Yeah.
at that time, we didn't have all these electronic gadgets.
Of course.
So
yeah.
you actually creamed
Mm.
the batter with your hand and even did the egg with your hand, and it was in a huge pot. But it all showed that she had to make ends meet
Yeah.
by supplementing her income. Yes, she was assured of income, but it wasn't enough.
Mm.
So she supplemented it. So it made us appreciate resilience.
Indeed.
The word that you
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah.
And also a certain level of integrity. Because my mother was very beautiful. And
I'm not surprised.
and she could have used her body
Yes.
to supplement her
At
income.
that time, yeah.
But she decided not to.
Yeah.
So it showed us that you would survive in whatever harsh conditions you find yourself, but with the right values and the right sense of dignity for your personhood,
Yeah.
you would evade the sort of things that will bring you shame later. So these were some of the things we learned when we were growing up. And these have shaped my life a little bit. I didn't know it then, but
Yeah.
certain things come.
These foundations.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're so much. They define you so much that you find yourself acting without even knowing that you've been shaped by them. Some people ask. I was in positions where I could have taken bribes and so on, and I tell them that my mother made us realize that it was so wrong. So I am an epitome of afraid woman. I don't even want to take it, so that later on it will come out.
Exactly.
And then you would have to find excuses. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes to show that's why you've stood the test of time, as it were.
Yes.
Time and time again. And I think listening to you speak to your mother has really given me a sense of who you are.
Yeah.
In terms of where you came from.
Yes.
And I think that quality is what has kept you going and
Indeed.
resilient. So I suppose that your mother was a huge influence.
She was.
In your childhood, because although you would say that she occupied leadership positions, she rolled her sleeves and got on with it.
Yes.
Instead of sort of being negative about it, and I've been dealt a harsh blow,
Yes.
and my husband has passed, whatever. She thought, right, we need to do it, and we're going to do it.
Yes.
So you grew up through that lens.
Indeed.
Of nothing is so insurmountable if you put your mind to it.
Yes.
Were there other influences in your life as you grew up? Was there, for example, a woman leader or a woman you admired that you thought, I would like to be like her?
My mother's sister, my mother's leadership roles were, let's say, at the middle level.
Yeah.
She was not at the top level.
Mm-hmm.
She was middle management, I would say, technical staff.
Yeah.
But my aunt was also a very strong woman. I don't know whether you've ever heard of Mansell Vocational Institute in Kumasi.
I have. Mansell, yes.
My mother's older sister, Rosamond Mansell, she was tough, as tough as nails. And so she was also an influence.
Yeah.
And
so you are surrounded by strong women.
Very strong women.
Which goes to show that, depending on the environment you find yourself, you normalize seeing female leadership. It's not a strange thing. So you grew up with that mindset, which obviously propelled you forward and all the things that you sort of ended up doing. And so looking back now, it will appear that these aspects of your upbringing perhaps explained you excelling in leadership and sort of, the impact, and also what path you took from then. So I think what I want to know is, a young lady growing up around formidable women, you went through your education, and then what prompted public service? How did you make that leap?
I didn't make it. I was thrust
Very
into
curious
it.
to find out
I
how
was
that
thrust
went
into
down.
it. But I think that schooling also shaped me, because apart from a 2-year stint in an all-female school as my middle school,
Right.
I went to mixed schools. So my primary school was mixed, and so was my secondary school. And I think it helped me appreciate the fact that men and women work together, live together, do things together.
Yes.
In the classroom, would be together, learning together, writing same exams,
Yeah.
and so on. So that took away whatever intimidation I would otherwise have had. I think so. So in addition to the strong women in my life, I think being in mixed schools also helped a great deal.
Yeah.
I've never felt intimidated in any situation. And if I went into a meeting, I was the only female, I'll tell everybody how wonderful it is to be in the majority of one.
Fantastic.
Break the ice.
That always attracts a smile or two.
Exactly. So that helps a little. But by public life, you're talking really about my PNDC days.
Yes.
Yes. I was thrust into it, I would say, because, it was a military regime.
Indeed.
And so you got called to participate.
Yes.
To participate, know. Growing up, I didn't have the kind of ambition, I would say, that said, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be, no. The one ambition I had was that whatever I found myself doing, I was supposed to be the best. I think that was my driving force.
Yeah, it's a very good start.
So when I found myself, as it were, thrust in public office during very difficult times, even as a minister of information, I used to tell everybody, look, this regime is not popular. Many of us don't like it, but it's effort accompli. That's where we are.
So what we do from here?
It is our country also. Yeah. Even if we didn't determine how it should be run, it's our country. And we need to shape up so that we're also part of building it up.
Yeah.
I remember my journalists who I used to work with, because I was in information, didn't always agree with me. I had meetings with them twice a month, and we would discuss, debate, argue, and I said, well, but you have to put the best foot
forward
of the nation forward.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to help shape ideas. You're not supposed to get people to feel so forlorn and so, how should I say, bereft of anything good. So that has been my posture.
Yeah.
My posture has been bringing the best out of everything.
The situation you find yourself,
I have to.
It is here and now.
Yes.
Let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it.
I mean, and for that particular time, I mean, I'm a child of the revolution,
yes.
if you like. Very few women in politics. And certainly, I used to look at you as some enigma. I mean, how does she find herself thrust not only in male-dominated space, but in a military regime?
Yes.
And I used to wonder, does she have people sort of tagging at her strings and saying, you are in the wrong place? And also family and loved ones saying, why are you doing this?
Oh, yes.
Balancing all those issues.
Indeed.
How did you navigate
Indeed,
that space?
The first year and a half were no easy times.
Hmm.
Because the regime was not popular, people saw me
Hmm.
almost like a traitor.
I can imagine. I can
Almost
imagine.
like a traitor. And I remember in church, people wouldn't feel comfortable sitting on the same
Oh
pew.
dear.
They had to, to the extent that I even left my church and tried to worship in another church
Right.
where it's like nobody really knew me.
Mm.
But I didn't feel comfortable because it was a totally different denomination. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable about it. But these were tough times.
It took a
Family,
lot of courage.
friends,
Yeah.
But the issue really also was I had been approached more than 3 times.
Yeah.
Should I always say no? Do I care for the country? Do I want the country to go on? So these were the thoughts that made me do it, even though President Rawlings of blessed memory knew. I told him point blank that he knew I didn't like coups,
Yeah.
but that's the situation we are in. And so it wasn't easy, but you had to do it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, amongst your peers also, like this woman who was who was competent in what she did.
Yeah.
So I wasn't always the favorite of everyone.
But I think what's important is you look beyond that. You
Yes.
said, what do I have to give? Or why are they approaching me?
Yes.
What is the skill set that I
Yes.
can, I can serve my
Yes.
nation with? So
Yes.
looking at the bigger picture, it's not always easy, even in our current climate where it's more normalized for
Yes.
women to serve in government, to make that stance, because then you end up, people see things in black and white. She's joined them, so
Yes,
she
She's
can't
part
do
of
anything
them.
good.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
to stand firm and say, let me do this, and fair play to you, because much as I was looking at you from a distance, a lot of people who have now taken leadership paths or are giving back had that opportunity to observe you
Yes.
in the public space, which was something that was not usual
Yes.
during that time. So
I really
well
give
done.
glory to God. Thank you.
Well done for
Thank
helping
you.
all of us come up and think it is possible for us to do that.
Yes.
So looking at your career path, I would say that you've had a lot of, describe as transitions or reinventions.
Yes.
How have you sort of navigated and done so gracefully, where you move from politics and then the Chamber of Mines was a sort of corporate
Yes.
and
Yes.
leadership?
Mhm.
In our current day and age, it is good when you have multiple skills. At that time, it wasn't
No.
the norm. You take a job and you stay there for life, you get your
Yes.
pension,
Yes.
and then you get out.
Yes.
But much of your career has been a little bit like that. And also, interestingly, in male-dominated spaces.
Yes.
Bearing in mind that we are celebrating International Women's Day, I wanted to know what sort of unique challenges or opportunities you faced whilst you were doing that and progressing in your career
Yes.
paths.
Actually, interestingly, I was always attracted to areas in life which required advocacy. I didn't even think of the word advocacy.
Right.
But you wouldn't believe it. I used to work in the Museums and Monuments Board.
Oh.
Yes. Museums and Monuments Board. Everybody's saying. And I chose that over a job with a commercial establishment, a corporate office, Kingsway.
Ah, that was huge.
Yes,
at the time.
I was,
Yes.
I passed the interview to be a trainee manager, but I told myself, what am I doing in commerce? I don't think there's any excitement there. So I joined the Museums and Monuments Board. But for me, it was the fact that life is not just about brick and mortar or bread and butter.
Yeah.
Life a nation has a soul. Every nation has a soul.
Yeah.
Because culture is forged with a lot of incidents of people, language, food, the ethnography, and so on. But so few of us know anything about it. Sometimes people will say, "Where are you from?" And then we say, "I'm Fanti." If they asked you anything about the Fantis, how did they become Fantis? Where did they come from? What are, let's say, the enduring values of the Fantis?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know what to say. I thought it wasn't good enough. So I think one of the first things I told my boss was that let's do something like museums in education, so that we would invite school children, would go to schools and then talk about the artifacts that you find around you, or the interesting buildings that you find around you, or the way we used to forge iron in the north. We used to forge iron and we could do our own metals. We could do our own cutlasses and so on.
Yeah.
Through the lost wax method. But many people didn't know. I was very excited about that. And then later on, the Environmental Protection Council then was established. I was so excited. Yes, we have to steward the we have to steward creation. God has given us so much. And we have to develop without destruction. So I'm always attracted to these things.
So when you were at the museum, how old were you then?
When I was at the museum, this was 71. I think I had probably just 26, 27 or something like that.
It's amazing. I'm asking you this.
Bubbly, I mean, all over the place.
I'm asking you this because, in our current generation, when somebody's in their 20s, they think, it's too early to start speaking up and channeling decision making and leadership. So even the confidence to tell your boss, let's do this, let's do something different, and all of that, it is lost sometimes in our generation where women often hesitate to project themselves and speak. So it's a shining example, the difference you made there to our history and our culture when you were in 30.
No, I wasn't 30. I wasn't 30.
So, I
wasn't 30.
It's good. It's good to take a step forward.
Perhaps one of the skills I have, first, at first I would have called it a gift, but I think it's a skill also, is how to communicate without being abrasive.
That's
how
key.
to disagree or insist on something being done in a better way.
Skill, yes.
I seem to have that skill, and I'm grateful to God that I've used it to good effect, because I've never been accused of being arrogant. Never been accused of being abrasive. Never been accused of insisting on my own way. So I'm grateful for that. But I one of the things I think maybe being educated in Achimota School also did for me, we were primed to appreciate the fact that being in that school will thrust us into leadership. And so there's a phrase in one of our songs which always recurs: so to subjugate ourselves that we may rule.
Yes.
So it's almost like you do have to give back.
Yes.
You've had opportunity. The education you've had is a privilege. What do you do with it? So you get the sense that life is not about you.
Yes. I mean, if you talk about your song and it goes from Gambaga to Accra, that it really encapsulates
everything,
and the fact that you're responsible for nationwide. So that makes a lot of sense.
So I think that had an effect on me also. And I read a lot. My mother was an avid reader.
I love that point.
And she read everything from cowboy comics.
Oh, wow.
To Mills and Boom.
I think I would have been a fan of your mother.
Oh, yes. And even though she didn't have much resources, she would buy Women's Weekly. She would buy. My first encounter with Time magazine was through my mother in secondary school. She'd buy the newspapers. She always bought newspapers, multiples. And we read. And the radio was on all the time. For us, the radio was an educational item, so we read. And she sent us to the library very early and enjoyed the books we brought. There was one called Brer Rabbit.
Oh, I know that.
You know that one. And it Brighton.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes. So reading.
You can't go wrong with
yes,
it. You can't.
Listening to the news was almost like a second nature. You had to
know what's happening out there, the world out there.
Exactly. So I think these things shaped me and made me realize that there's always something to give.
Yeah.
And that when you are assigned a duty, you have to know enough about what you've been asked to do so that you can bring something innovative, something creative, because you're supposed to bring value to what you're expected to. I don't know where I got it from, but that has been my lifestyle.
That's fantastic.
That has been my lifestyle.
Don't bring your ego, but your value to the job.
So you have to bring value because things are not static. I keep telling people nature has a way of illuminating us if we'd let it. You look at yourself and you're not static.
Yeah.
You grow.
Yeah.
Not only physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. So it means that your intellect can expand. Now, when it expands, what do you do with it? You have to really divert it to something useful, not only for yourself, because you live in a country.
Yeah.
And if things go well, you benefit.
Yeah.
You benefit, I remember one time I was asked to serve on a committee that one of the IGPs set up.
Right.
And somebody came and said, you know what people are saying? He said, as for you, you're serving every regime. I said, oh, well, I'm serving Ghana. I'm not serving a regime. I'm serving Ghana.
Asked for that, yes.
Serving Ghana. So adding value to things is something that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
So when I went to the Environmental Protection Agency, that was it. I said, look, I remember telling my boss, I said, well, we can't really make regulations when we don't know what is happening around. So let's visit every region, find out what kind of industries are they involved in, what are the agricultural methods, what kind of fertilizers are they using, what are the runoffs, where do the runoffs go, that kind of thing, And then we coined this thing, development without destruction, because of course, when a human being touches nature, it changes, but it doesn't have to be negative all the time, So my boss really liked that part of me, and actually, I became almost like a confidant he was an avid writer.
Right.
Professor Boateng.
Right.
So when he was writing a book, he'd call me, Joyce, come and see this. Read through this paragraph and tell me this, that. So.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes.
And this was all before politics.
Yes, yes.
And it's interesting that you said you were called upon 3 times. You see, sometimes when you charter a certain path, you're giving off your best. You don't realize who is watching.
You don't know.
Right? I mean, this is way before the era of social media. So you're going about your normal duties, going up and down the country without announcing it to everybody on social media. But you had been noticed.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if you're giving a path just do the best you can and
That's
get
the
on with
only
it.
thing you
Without
can
thinking
do.
of gratitude, without thinking of thanks,
Exactly.
just get your head down.
Yeah.
And the right opportunities will keep,
Yes. And
keep
talking
coming
about
along.
gratitude, I was so shocked when I was given this Companion of the Order of the Volta. I didn't know
The
whatever
highest order of the land.
I know the second highest. The highest is the star.
Yeah.
The second highest. And I'm thinking, so you are right.
Mm.
It's not a point about who's watching.
No.
Nobody needs to watch.
Just do
The
it.
thing is that as a human being, you must find fulfillment in the good things you also bring on board anything
Yeah.
that you find yourself doing.
Yeah.
So if we were baking cakes using raisins and now we're saying that maybe sugar is too high, what about thinking about drying mangoes and drying pineapple,
Yeah.
which is less sugary, and using that
That is true.
for,
Yeah. Finding an alternative and moving along.
Because that is what the mind is for.
Yes.
The mind is always available to help you. And we don't engage our minds enough. We don't read. We don't find out what is happening. I mean, look at us.
You live on an island.
The opportunity that we have with social media. Google. We have Google. We have other sites. Every information that you're looking for.
Everything. The click of a button.
You can find it.
Yeah.
So what is wrong in spending your time wanting to know, wanting to know about other things, even if they don't have anything directly to do with your career? Or what doesn't have anything to do with your career? Everything has something to do with your career.
Because you're taking the whole thing for granted. It's too easily accessible. And so that's the problem.
But that is why a lot of people don't have joy. A lot of people don't feel satisfied.
No.
A lot of people are not contented. Several people don't even feel fulfilled. They are in jobs. They are not in corporate situations.
Yeah.
They are just doing a job
the best they can.
So that
Ticking
they'll be paid.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking of
clocking in and clocking out.
Yes.
Is the order of the day.
How do you wake up feeling despondent because the job you're going to do is routine? And then at the end of the day, you go home despondent. I think for the sake of yourself, what you should do is to try and make yourself happy.
Yes.
Feel fulfilled. Bring something. Yes, bring something to the table.
Yeah.
Let everybody enjoy it, and it will attract others to bring things to the table.
Because
also.
you could easily have been in the museum looking through comics.
I know.
And saying, "Oh, what time is it? It's time to go home." But once you create a path for yourself, you find more fulfillment.
A lot of fulfillment. And because of that, whenever there were travel opportunities, my boss would say, "Joyce, you go."
Yeah.
So the museum was also in charge of monuments.
All right, yeah.
Monuments, so all the castles and so on. And there was an international organization for monuments and sites. And I went to one of the conferences. I became even chair of a committee or something like that. Went, around the world. It was fulfilling. Hardworking, but...
Exactly. Hardworking, that's the point.
Yeah,
so if
well,
somebody's
you have to work
in the
hard.
distance, and admiring you or at worst envying you,
are
they prepared to put the work in?
You have to put the work in.
You have to put the work in.
And it comes at a cost.
Definitely. And I mean, I certainly see that if you're begrudging somebody about the opportunities, look closely in the mirror and figure out where you're going or what could have prevented you from going down that rabbit hole.
Right.
I think that I definitely get a sense of your leadership style. We've talked about your ability to communicate and not to be sort of abrasive, to jump in and roll your sleeves and get the hard work done, whether people are watching or not. I wonder if that was the reason for your successful leadership in corporate Ghana,
Ghana. Yeah.
in that sort of, working the room and not lording it over everybody
Yeah.
or being too sensitive and suddenly causing a whole uproar.
Perhaps when I was given it's interesting how I got the role. The Chamber of Mines had decided to become a more visible organization and not just an organization that sought its own interests.
Right.
And so they wanted someone who straddled the political divide, someone who had a lot of experience with the media, was in communication, someone who understood environmental stewardship.
Amazing. You ticked all the boxes.
Ticked all the boxes. Ticked all the boxes. But I didn't leave it at that. I wanted to understand everything about mining. And I read a lot. I remember we championed the cause saying that life without mining is impossible. It's true. We are surrounded by metals and things that mining has enabled,
Exactly.
So life is about mining and agriculture. That is what life is about. Everything else, everything else is about this. But I realized that mining will always leave a hole. So how do you relate to the communities? So I championed corporate social responsibility. I said enough of philanthropy, where you go and give this and no. Your corporate social responsibility should be giving back something to the society that would outlive you, so that after you left the community, they would say, if this mining company had not been here, this quality of life that we're enjoying would not have been possible.
This is true.
So
you championed it before it became a buzz term.
Yes. And the thing is that I worked closely with the presidents. Shared ideas, and together with the small, lean team we had, we were always thinking, how do we approach this? When I started, only one committee was with the Chamber of Mines. That was the technical committee, because they were interested in technical things. Said, no, we can't run an organization like that. So we built several committees. We had a legal committee, an energy committee. We had a social and environmental committee, had a human resource committee. We took the press to the mines to let them see mining firsthand. And also see what the companies were doing in the communities. So their reporting would not be based on hearsay, but something that they had experienced themselves. And then also take ideas from them, because they can tell you what they think can be done.
Engaging with them.
And then I also said, okay, we are a council, but everybody is in their corner. Why don't we annually all meet together? All the company heads and maybe some people in the management team. So we'd meet in a place and we'll spend 3 days going through the things that we can do better. Because what I used to say was that, look, mining competes for land. And so that competition has its own negative outcomes. How do you make a nation recognize that it can use mining to be a catalyst for development? And so we used to have meetings and we'll call relevant ministers to come and share a few ideas with us. And so on. And now it's become a...
Yes.
I'm
understanding the history of how all this came to be. I mean, I dare say that is powerful female leadership.
I know.
You know, sort of cutting everything down to the core,
Yes.
the face-to-face,
Yes.
let's meet the people.
Yes.
And what we, I mean, normally women are linked to meticulous
Yes.
leadership style.
Right.
And I wonder whether you believe that women have a sort of distinct leadership trait that they bring to the table in terms of their decision-making style.
We do.
And therefore we should feel empowered to step forward.
We've been
Yeah.
wired that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I think our very nature, our very biology, our very psyche makes us people who are multi-talented,
Yeah.
who are multi-focused, who also, you know, multitask.
Yes.
You can't help it. That's how we've been wired.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't just keep it within the confines of the kitchen, the
Yeah.
confines of the
Yeah.
bedroom. The nation requires that we bring these skills. In any case, every grown up has come through the hands of a woman.
Yes. Yes.
Every grown up.
Yeah.
Now, if we are able to raise people to hold positions, then we should know that there's something beyond the little families that we're raising
Yes.
that the nation requires.
Exactly.
And I really would urge all women. Yes, society has boxed us. It is true.
Very
But the
true.
thing is that society does not know everything. And so we need to burst into the stage of society and help society
I
see.
like the word burst.
Yes.
Indeed.
You know,
Yes.
so that society would know the other parts of us
Yeah.
that make life much better than they already are.
I mean, there's no way you can box
You
in
know,
50% of the population.
No, in
51% of the population.
In fact, you
For
do it
nation
at
building.
your peril.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do it at your peril, you know.
And economics
Yes.
as well.
You do it. The Chinese have a saying that women hold half the sky. So naturally, if you want your sky to remain level,
Indeed.
you need women.
Yes.
You need
Yes.
women. And I think one of the issues, maybe we mothers have not done well in raising our boys, is making them feel so machismo. We make them feel that, you know, they are the only ones who can take decisions.
Yeah.
And actually feel threatened. Feel threatened when a woman
Indeed. Yeah.
comes along, you
Yeah.
know. I think we need to
start looking at that
looking at
and
that,
being
you know.
intentional
Yes.
as to how we raise our
Because,
boys and
I mean,
girls.
here we are. I mean, I can't bathe this side of me with this. I'll have to use it. I have to use this to do it.
We have to
And
help
that's
each
what
other.
boys, girls, men, women. That's how we should see things.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
it's absolutely critical.
Yes, very
at this stage.
critical.
And it's nice to hear you say that, because I think there's so many talented women who hold back because they think they are not, or indeed the environment they find themselves holds them back. So they think they're not good
we're
enough.
socialized, you know,
Yeah,
as
to
women, we're
project-
socialized.
project
We're
ourselves.
socialized to sort of step back.
Yeah.
You know, I remember people telling me that with this kind of intellect, you're not going to get a husband.
I can't imagine. Relax small, you know.
You know,
Don't let them know.
because I was also
Be a bit ditzy.
I was also on the Sunday evening program. What is it called? TV. This Talking Point.
Yes.
I was always
On Talking
I
Point.
was always
Oh,
on
we
Talking
used to-
Point.
yes.
In
We
the
used to
70s,
watch.
I was always on Talking
We
Point.
used to watch Talking Point because we
Yes.
tolerated it because a canned drama was soon after.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's listen to
You
what
know,
they're saying, and then
And it was political. It was during the Champon regime,
Talking
and
Point.
I would talk. And whenever I went to work, there was a lawyer who would say, "Joyce, you're speaking for the silent majority.
Mm.
Please don't stop.
Oh, that's great. That's the greatest compliment.
You're
A
speaking
silent
for
majority,
the silent
indeed.
majority. Please don't stop.
Yes.
But I don't know where I got the courage, because
Mm.
it didn't matter that it was a military regime and that I could be picked up. It never even
It's
crossed my mind.
amazing. The
It never
courage
crossed my.
in that climate where people want to hide behind the chair.
Later on, I hope it was an anecdote. Later on, I remember I was traveling to Germany, and the pilot said, "Joyce, you're running to Germany, right? After you've gone and said all these things."
It didn't even cross your mind.
And then he said, "I'm told that an order is being given that you should not be seen within 5 kilometers radius of GBC." And I laughed and I said, "Well, if the head of state knew that I live in this corner, he wouldn't send that kind of thing.
It will be pointless." But I have to say that you have sort of transcended in a very powerful and positive way.
Positive. I'm not so sure about powerful.
Where people have sort of fallen by the roadside.
Yes.
You've had a very, long-term projection.
Yeah.
Certainly for those of us who watch the way you've moved on in life, being graceful, being positive. I think the positivity is a huge aspect of what we see.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm sure you have loads of mentees, but you have also a whole nation of mentees, because
I prefer that
when things get tough, we're like, but she did it. It can't be that bad. Exactly. But it's a reference point.
Indeed.
And I think I read once that you said at a certain event, I think it was former President John Ajay-Kufuor's launching, where you said that life is what you give to others and the value you add to people's lives. And that caught my attention. I meant to ask you, what do you mean by that?
There's something about life that teaches us that everybody is receiving and giving. Let's take plants and human beings. We're giving out carbon dioxide, and the plants are giving us oxygen.
Yes.
So life was never meant to be, even an island is surrounded by water. So even an island is not by itself.
Exactly.
When you come to think about it.
Yeah.
And I think true fulfillment is when you look at what you give and in turn receive.
Yeah.
Lately I've been piqued by our internal organs and how the word disease is really from dis-ease.
That's a good one.
Because when the organs are functioning well, you won't get any disease.
No.
So it is when the liver decides to fight with the duodenum, or the throat decides not to have anything to do with the gut. Yes, that's when these
the
things
start.
You see, and so in life, if you don't give back something, you definitely will not receive. And what we receive really is what helps our psyche, what helps our heart, what builds our contentment, and so on. I am an incurable optimist. It doesn't mean that I don't see reality. I see reality a lot. But reality is also shaped by the way we respond to difficulties all the time.
Yeah.
The way we respond to difficulties, and I've had quite a couple, some self-inflicted and some inflicted by others.
Yeah.
But I really strongly feel that most of us are shortchanging ourselves because we're so focused. We're so focused on self-preservation. I don't want to go and do it. I'll be insulted.
Yes.
That kind of thing. You know about the National Cathedral, and everybody knows some part of the National Cathedral. And sometimes people call me and they were saying this and that about you. I said, really? Well, I haven't heard because I'm not
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah.
But even if they say so, what is the problem?
I know. If nobody's talking about what you're doing, then you're not doing
It's
anything.
not going to define me,
Yeah.
you know. And so this self-preservation, I think, is something that is, I would say, a silent killer.
Yeah.
We die not because we physically pass away.
Mm.
We die because we feel to be relevant. You have to be relevant. Life is generational.
Yeah.
And just as you benefited from older generations before you, it's your turn to also let other generations benefit from you.
Yeah.
You know, and to realize that until you die, the potential is enormous. Until you die.
You never stop learning. You never stop
And your
giving.
dad showed me this also. He was in a wheelchair. Well, he was always getting us to do work. He was writing, was doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, again, because it's an older Morton, you see.
He always used to say that you never stop.
No, you never stop until you die.
So just keep going.
You have to keep going.
You have to keep going. And I think that mindset gives you a bigger picture, because sometimes when you're doing things and people are holding back, they're thinking about self-preservation, as you say, they're thinking about personal cost to them. They're thinking about, well, will this be well received or not? Let me not bother. You know, I even have that. Why are you doing this? You're not getting paid for it. You know, that seems to be the little noises that you normally go. But if you see it as an overwhelming sense of duty to give back to the generation, then that's where the fulfillment comes.
That is fulfillment.
Yeah, that's fulfillment.
And things start a little. You see, wanting success immediately doesn't make sense. When you put a seed in the ground, it takes time to germinate. And then it takes time to grow until fruiting time comes. That is the period of success. And if that is what life is about, why do we worry that we've started an idea and it hasn't immediately caught up? It shouldn't worry us. We must believe strongly in what we're doing to know that it will catch up.
Yeah.
It will touch people. It will affect people's lives. We don't even need to know the people whose lives have been affected.
Yeah.
You know,
because what you're doing is bigger than that.
But what you're doing is so big that it is bound to be successful. Maybe nobody will give you an award for it, but you didn't do it because you wanted an award.
Exactly.
You felt a sense of duty.
Yeah.
There's a Methodist hymn, "A charge to keep I have." The second stanza is very interesting. It says, "To serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. And oh, may it all my powers engage to do my master's will." So you're doing it because you even have been privileged to have something to give.
Yeah. Yeah. To whom much is given.
It's a privilege. You have something to give. So you give it. Sometimes it's only a smile.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to see somebody and just give the person a compliment. You know, you don't need to know the person.
No.
You know, because you never know. The person could have spent a night in deep distress.
Exactly.
And then the person wakes up and still in that mood of suffering until a smile just makes the person realize, no, all is not lost. So it's very important that we live not for ourselves alone,
but for others.
But for others. And enjoy what others also give
the fruits of their labor.
Yes.
When I think of you as a role model to women, and you definitely take an interest in empowering women.
Yes.
And that probably is in line with your life's vision, your life's purpose. Yeah. I mean, where do you think women can do more to support women?
There's so many ways.
I mean, women
so
in
many-
leadership to
Yes.
support others.
There's so many ways. Women in leadership, yes, it's tough. We don't have very much time, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I think what we need to do is, in spite of it, to make ourselves reachable, approachable,
Yeah.
in spite of everything. So that reachability would enable another person to walk up to you, maybe compliment you on something, and ask a question. Because mentorship is not always the one-on-one
No.
that we think,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
even the way we carry ourselves, the way we handle the roles we are given, the way we actually treat others, especially those who are below us. All these things are mentoring. They're mentorships without directly stating
They are
so.
observing.
They are observing.
Yeah.
You know how children are.
Exactly.
I don't know whether your daughter used to wear your high heels
Oh, yes.
and
yes.
wear your makeup.
Still does my
you know.
high heels, yes. Take my bag and prance
Yes.
around like she's walking like mommy.
I know. But this, I mean, we live by observation.
Yeah.
Live by observation. So I think in addition to that, it's time to be a little more intentional.
Yeah.
We need to be more intentional. And we are not supposed to, touch everybody. Because what we need to do is to empower people who can also empower others. That is
That is key.
Yes,
Exactly.
that is the key. That's the way
Yeah.
we should do it. Because we're not going to be able
To do it all. So sort of
do it all by ourselves.
multiplying the laborers in the vineyard.
Exactly.
So that all hands on deck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I think that what you said is very important, accessibility and being reachable.
Yes.
And I definitely experienced that with you, not because I know of you or we've had more interactions, but to observe you, you're very warm with people and you don't necessarily know all the people.
No.
There are times where you've been at an event where I say, oh, I have to go and say hello to Auntie Joyce. And then I see people rushing at you. And you are so warm, like they're the only people in the room. And I'm like, I bet you she doesn't remember everybody that she's hugging so warmly. But that is it, because then if somebody needs something from you, even if it's, sort of sounding board, they feel, oh, she is so accessible. Can I just reach her without any sort of protocols and just have a chat? So that is something that I think is absolutely crucial when you find yourself in leadership. Not just saying by word that I'm available, but in your action, showing people that you're available. So having tread this path of leadership for decades, what are some of the challenges that you believe female leaders of our generation face? What are some of the challenges, some of the biggest challenges that we face with female leadership in this current generation?
I think being accepted as equal to the task is one of the biggest challenges, because sometimes you are giving of your best, but it's almost like you're a second degree citizen.
This is true. This is true.
And it is something that can really wear you down. You are in a group, and sometimes you're even asked to lead, and you can actually sense the resentment.
Yes, and the mansplaining.
Yes.
You say something, a man repeats it and says what she was trying to say. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
But the issue is you have to rise above it. That's number one. Number two also is how to manage various roles.
Yes.
Three-pronged roles immediately. Wife, mother, career woman.
Yeah.
That is also
a tricky dance.
We need to navigate. I think a lot of the time we are so keen on marriage that we don't always end up with the right person.
Yes. Because it's a societal nod.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we being in homes where we have very supportive spouses is difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
That's
becomes another burden, you know, because you do want to hold the marriage together.
Yeah.
But then it means you have to step back a little bit.
Exactly.
And not be who you know you ought to be. That's something that maybe we don't talk about, but it is very real.
Very tricky.
It's very real.
Yeah.
And so that's something.
And in those circumstances, one would hope that the institution you work with or the colleagues you work with are supportive, but to some extent. It doesn't quite happen. So having that sort of work-life balance, the ever elusive work-life balance.
And then you know, in a sense, one of the greatest difficulties is how to win the hearts of other women to accept that your leadership is not an indictment on them or on them not being in leadership roles, so that you know you're not seen as So I think even amongst ourselves, we need to love ourselves enough to prop one another up, because sometimes the greatest resentment comes from us.
Women, that is
so
true.
We need to hold each other's arms. You know, we need to hold each other's arms and
do better at that. Supporting each other.
And then we need to find time to also engage each other. Men are always in clubs.
Indeed.
They are playing golf. They are doing at the bar, you know. Yes, we have a lot to do. But children don't grow down, they grow up. So we should think about our lives beyond this wifehood and motherhood and all that. So as we, you know, and we should join groups. We should join groups and maybe make up the kind of groups that we'll be comfortable with. I'm just thinking, maybe we should even begin to do, I know there are a few reading clubs.
Yes.
You know, but those things are quite important. And, you know, so there's a day where you go to your reading club.
Yes, even for adults.
Yes, for adults. I'm thinking grown-ups like us.
Because there are quite a few reading clubs for children. But
no, I mean for grown-ups.
Exactly. For grown-ups. Other parts of the world,
you know,
very popular.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and then maybe some kind of hobby you always wanted to do. And
learn it,
learn it,
exactly.
You know.
Find yourself within.
Because you have a little more time.
Yes.
You know, when you don't have the time to, juggle, don't push yourself. But plan that you will have time.
Yes. Plan and make time for what is important.
That you will have time.
Yes.
And make use of the time. You know, when our children get to, you know, even before teenage, if they are doing activities in school and you don't have a hairdresser's appointment or something, what do you do with the time?
Exactly.
You must use it.
Yes.
You know, you must use it and not just be stuck at home.
Waiting for the child to finish. Yes.
You must also do something.
Yeah.
Which adds value to you and adds value to others. I think these are some of the ways in which I would suggest, and I'm ready to be a part of anything like that, you know, because we need to gather together.
Definitely.
We need to gather together. I know people say women are their own worst enemies, but human beings are their own worst enemies.
Yes.
If you've been around men, you would know that men can really destroy each other. That too they do. But of course, they do. They do. So it's.
But they hide it quite well from us.
Very well. Because we are so busy.
Exactly.
Agreeing with what they say about us.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
So let as women, let's begin to, make time for one another,
Yeah.
but doing useful things.
Yes.
I used to sew all my clothes. To be good to have opportunity to maybe as grown-ups, not just mending a dress, but
Yes.
wouldn't it be
A sewing
nice?
club.
Yes.
We all learn a skill.
Yes. If you sewed a shirt, you don't have to take it out. Or you sewed a skirt and
Exactly.
you are proud
You're
about it.
passing around
Yes.
saying, I made
I
from
made
scratch.
this exactly,
That is, yeah, that's,
So some hobby that you're good at,
yeah.
Spending
more time together, strengthening each other
Yes.
by way of bonding, and that
Yes.
creates that empowerment and it
Exactly.
creates that support network, right? The support network.
A support network.
I totally hear
Yes.
you on that.
Right.
It's
So
very
we should do
critical.
that, but it has to be intentional because
Yeah.
it's not going to happen
No,
by itself.
because we're all busy.
Yes.
And it, you might do it. The first meeting, two people will come and, hopefully it'll build
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
So a little birdie tells me that we're facing a huge milestone for
Yes.
you.
I'm excited.
I mean, incredible.
Can
incredible.
you believe it?
Three
I'm
scores,
still pinching myself.
3 scores and 10.
No, four.
4 scores. Oh my goodness.
I am going to be 8-0.
Well, excuse me, you don't
3
look
score and 10 is 70.
No wonder I was
10
looking at
years
70.
more.
What an incredible
Yes.
journey.
And we're going to have a musical concert.
Unbelievable.
Anyone who wants to come can come
How
because
do you do it? Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
But I'm sure you've gone through different stages in life. So you think, okay, so maybe I have lived as long as they say I have lived.
The child in me has not grown up.
That's another thing.
The child in
You
me
need
has
to be
not
youthful in your
grown up at all.
outlook in life.
Yesterday I was talking to a youth group about the environment, and then I was saying we, us. I'm sure they were wondering what's wrong with this grandmother.
But of course, you're only as old as you feel, so
Yes.
definitely that's great.
Yes.
What would you have told your younger self 60 years ago? What would you have said to your younger self?
I would have said, be more intentional, even if you're the most intelligent person. Because when learning comes easily to you, if you don't take care, you don't hit your maximum. You will do well.
Yeah.
It will be said of you, but you can do far more.
Even more.
That's one of the things I'll tell my younger self. I'll also tell my younger self, marriage is wonderful, but it doesn't define anybody. So don't be in such a rush because your peers are getting married. You can make a mistake that will negatively affect you for life. That's one thing I'll tell my younger self. I'll also tell my younger self, don't be so bothered when people slander you. Your skin is thicker than that. Just make sure you are not giving reason to be slandered.
Yes, indeed.
If you're doing the right thing and people are slandering you, it's okay. But don't get yourself in a situation where you're living so unrighteously that you'll be slandered. And these three things. And never give up having a positive attitude. I haven't given up.
Definitely not.
Sometimes people say, oh, Ghana. I said, what? Ghana? The best is yet to come. It may not be in my generation. But if each of us leaves a little something positive, this country will do well. I'm saddened that we have become so polarized as a nation.
Yeah.
saddened by it.
Yeah.
But I think the younger generation should rise above it. Should rise above it. We are one people, one nation, and we definitely have a common destiny. And what happens in the north affects what happens in the south, and vice versa, east and west. But this tapestry of wonderful people, different tribes, different languages living together is something we can't get anywhere. Let's hold on to it.
This is true.
Let's hold on to
It's
it.
very true.
Let's hold on to it.
This is very true. It's very true. We're quite unique in that
Yes.
respect.
Yes.
And in terms of, I'm looking at specifically women who are grappling with leadership and are trying to hold firm to lead with impact and integrity. What sort of advice or words of encouragement do you have for them?
What I would say is excellence, integrity, hard work, respect for one another. These are integral to leadership. And leadership really is not cast in stone. Yes, a lot has been written about it, but bring your own style to it. Your style has to enhance whatever skills are supposed to be good for leadership. Let your own unique style enhance it. And remember, you're managing an organization. You are an extraordinary manager anyway. That's how you are wired.
Yeah.
And so just bring the innate qualities that you have in managing your home. Bring that to the workplace without, of course, personalizing it. And remember, the best leader is the one who recognizes leadership in everybody around, harnesses these qualities for ultimate good, and then takes the credit for it. That's the way to go. Get everybody to work together. When the accolades come, they'll talk about you first, and then of course you can humbly. I didn't talk humility. Humility is also a very important part of leadership. You get the credit and you spread it all around. But when you enter your office as a leader, there must be joy, there must be cheer. Nobody should be afraid of you because you've entered it. Because you can discipline people without trampling on their rights. Be strict, but be loving. That's how you're wired anyway. So I would say let's use our innate qualities, and we have many.
Yeah.
We have
Amazing. Amazing. I feel like I should have had a notebook writing notes. This has been incredible. And I wonder if you have any final words to give us in terms of maybe values you've held dear throughout your life, or words of encouragement, because I think this generation, we need it. Reverend Dr. Aryee, we need that encouragement. So when you're ready,
Yes.
any few words will be absolutely great.
I think one of the values that I wouldn't trade for anything is integrity. It grounds you. Just doing the right thing because it is right builds you up. It makes you hold your head up high wherever you are. It cuts across everything. Hold on to it. And faith has also made me realize, faith in Jesus has made me realize that God wants much more for us than we're willing to appreciate. God wants us to be the very best of the best. And with that, you have taken note of it or not. Inner strength. And that inner strength is built on the fact that you are loved unconditionally. You know, to know that God, your creator, loves you unconditionally makes a big difference. Because the one who loves you unconditionally is the one who would also support you, hold you up, and correct you, and so that you'll be the best. Hang on to God. Hang on to God. In fact, you don't have to carry the name Reverend. Not at all. I mean, for me, that also came by the way. But you don't have to hold on to it. But just decide that the word love would mean a lot to you. For me, it's very important because I grew up with the loss of my father. I grew up not feeling loved. My mother was young and handling many children, so I just felt neglected. And until the Lord made me appreciate that He loves me unconditionally, I didn't quite come to myself, into myself.
Yeah.
But since that time, life has taken on a totally different meaning. I would like us to be people of faith. Look, faith is not a crutch. Faith is not a crutch because a crutch topples. But faith does not topple. Faith in God through Christ does not topple. If anybody tells you faith is a crutch, just say, a crutch can even be snatched away from you, or it can break. But that doesn't break, because really, our personhood, our whole persona is shaped not by outside things alone. There are many things that are unseen. In fact, there are more things unseen. Even as we sit here, I can't look through the wall. Don't know what's happening outside.
Yeah.
And if there's one who knows but loves you, then you know that you're in the right hands. So, women, we need to hold on to God, because what He wants for us, we haven't yet achieved. He wants far more for us. He wants us to hold our countries together in more ways than one. In leadership, outside leadership, in the various roles we play. Hold the nation together and make it a good one. We can do it. We've been doing it. It's not recognized, but what does it matter? The end result is that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
But let me say this. When you're called into a leadership position, please don't shirk it. Don't shirk it.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience. You will learn on the job and you'll be good at it. Don't shirk it. Don't be afraid. You can do it. I know maybe I'm talking to somebody who is grappling with that situation right now.
Quite
Please
a few people, I'm sure.
Take the role and learn about the organization and learn about the stakeholders and the other institutions that the organization has to deal with. And just go with your chest out, your head out, and run it and raise it and put it on a pinnacle, because that's why you were chosen. That's why you were chosen. Go for it. And I'm talking to my
you're talking to me
to my
too.
hostess also, because there are many things that are coming, and just open your arms and just embrace them.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace them. You will make it.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Joyce. I don't know what to say. I want to say thank you so much for
I'm grateful.
sharing your wisdom, your faith and purpose with us today.
Thank you.
You have demonstrated to us that leadership is not about titles.
No.
It's about impact, integrity, humility, and lifting others as you go along. Very importantly, on this special occasion, we need to hear that. So, on this International Women's Day, I hope that you've come away feeling uplifted, enlightened. If you have enjoyed this episode, share it and live it. On behalf of the BNP Associates Community First podcast and our listeners, I want to say thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
generosity in time and effort and spending precious time with us. I want to say congratulations on your wonderful milestone that's around the corner that I thought
coming
you're
up.
much younger than I thought.
Coming up.
This has been the BPA Community First podcast. I've been your host today, Adelaide Vene Frempe, and we've had an amazing guest in the person of Reverend Dr. Joyce Rosalind Aryee. Until next time, stay tuned, have a lovely day, and keep making an impact. Thank you.